chapter, which is chapter 8, and this chapter is based on the Indian climatic diversity, vegetational diversity as well as the wildlife diversity in several parts of India. So before we start the chapter, we have to know about the areal extent of the Indian subcontinent, right? So it is a huge extent, you know that. So it has a 4 portion: northern side, southern side, western side and eastern side. Okay, so it has a 4 part. Sorry for the interruption, my pen is not working, just wait. It has 4 sides: northern, southern, western and eastern, right? So on the basis of the areal extent, it has a great climatic diversity. So we first talk about the northern side of the Indian subcontinent, right? So this portion is mainly bounded by several type of mountain ranges. You all know that this is the Karakoram range, Ladakh range, Zaskar range, and this portion is bounded by the Great Barrier. In our country is Himalaya mountain. It's a great range, right? So this portion is mainly a rugged topography. So in that part the climate is very harsh climate, which means the cold climate, right? So what about the southern part of the India? We know that the southern part of the India is bounded by the 2 major ocean. It is Arabian Sea in the western side, and the eastern side is Bay of Bengal, right? So because of the influence of the sea, the climate will determine the southern part of the India, and we all know that the Tropic of Cancer is crossed in the middle part of the of our nation. So because of the influence of the sea, the climate is highly dominated by this portion. So this whole process is known as the monsoon process, right? We all know that the Indian climate is a monsoon type of climate, and this is the southern part of the climatic diversity. And what about the arid portion? We all know that this portion is mainly composed with the sandy soil. In that part, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, this all places are situated in that part, and the sandy soil is composed in that part, right? So in that region the rainfall is very less because of the arid climate. It receives near about less than 25 centimeter rainfall in a year, right? So the irrigation production is very less in that part. Mainly the jowar, bajra, millet is produced in that part. And what about the eastern part of the Indian subcontinent? We all know that we stay in that part. This portion is covered different type of region like Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, and if you go forward to the eastern side, you know that in that part is covered with Manipur, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh and all, right? So it has a great climatic diversity. So now we will focus about the monsoon climate and how it's processed in all over the continent, right? Monsoon climatic process. So between June to September, just remember the date or month, June to September. It's a very vital time. In that month, beginning of the June, the high pressure is developed. Very important thing, the high pressure is developed over the Indian Ocean, right? The high pressure will develop over the Indian Ocean, and the low pressure is developed over the Tibetan Plateau or the Himalaya mountain region, right? So in between June to September, there is a pressure gradient force which is created from the southern part to the northern part. I mean the high pressure zone to the low pressure zone. And we all know that the wind is blow from high pressure to low pressure. So it's very clear there is a wind system which is crossed from the southern part to the northern part, right? So first point is from the beginning of the June, the pressure gradient force create from Indian Ocean to the Tibetan Plateau, Indian Ocean to the Himalaya mountain region, you can say Himalayan mountain region, so that the pressure, so the wind system flow from southern part to the northern part. Right? Southern part to the northern part. So from the beginning of the June there is a wind flow which is blowing from southern portion to the northern portion, but there is a something wrong in that portion. So what is wrong in that? So we know that the Deccan Plateau region and the Chotanagpur Plateau, and there are several mountain ranges like Vindhya Plateau and the Satpura range are bounded in that part, right? There is a Vindhya Plateau region, Satpura range, this is the Chotanagpur Plateau region, and we know that this portion is covered with the Deccan Plateau region, and we know that the Deccan Plateau region is composed with the igneous rock, right? So this is a very common thing. So in that part the wind is the blowing wind is collide with these ranges, and this wind will not forward from the further north, right? So because of the shape of the triangle of the southern part of the India, this wind is split into two branches, right? This is the Arabian, number one is the Arabian Sea branch, and this is the Bay of Bengal branch. So this wind system split into two branches. So number one is Arabian Sea branch of monsoon, right? And the second one is the Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon. Because of this two type of monsoon, the whole region of the nation, I mean the thirsty land of the India get rainfall, and the monsoon is highly dominated the irrigation sector of the Indian subcontinent, and it's also determined the economic sector as well. Okay, so Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon. So in geography we say that the Arabian Sea of branches, there is a other name which is also known as the southwestern monsoon, and this name is also same for the Bay of Bengal branch. It's known as the southwestern monsoon. So because of domination of the southwestern monsoon, the thirsty land get rainfall, right? So this is the basic introduction of the monsoon climate. So now we will focus about the how it's processed, right? Just wait. Okay, so I think it's clear to all of you. Now I have to wrap it and go forward for the next one. First we will talk about the this branch, Arabian Sea branch, right? Arabian Sea branch or the southwestern monsoon. Arabian Sea branch or southwestern monsoon. So in that phenomena, the low pressure developed over the Arabian Sea in the beginning of the June, right? So low pressure is developed over there, and the wind system is crossed from that portion to the up to the Chotanagpur Plateau, right? So I will make another short map because this is covered by some markings, so that's why I have to make another map, right? I just draw the lower portion of the India, right? This is the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, right? and low pressure is developed over there, and the wind system or the wind blow from Arabian Sea to the up to the Chotanagpur plateau, and the Chotanagpur plateau is situated in that part of the Indian subcontinent, right. So the wind is blow from the western part and dominated up to the Chotanagpur plateau. And we know that in the southern part of the India there are several places are situated, like Bangalore. We know that this is the IT hub region. So actually the Bangalore is the rain shadow area, right. And there is another plat which is also similar name with the Bangalore, it's Mangalore, and Mangalore is the windward area. So Mangalore receive huge rainfall, but Bangalore receive very less rainfall because of the leeward side of the mountain region, right. So Bangalore is situated in the leeward side of the mountain region, and on the other hand the Mangalore is situated in the windward side of the mountain region. And you can say that the Chennai is also receive very less amount of rainfall. Andhra Pradesh is get moderate rainfall, but in the Mumbai part or the Goa region receive a huge rainfall, right. So this is the rainfall status of the southwestern monsoon up to the Chotanagpur plateau. And we all know that the Deccan plateau region or the southern part of the India is mainly composed with the black soil or the igneous rock, whatever you can say. And we all know that the black soil is very much fertile for the cotton crop production or the sugarcane production, right. So there is a huge production will happen for the cotton in that portion, I mean the composed with the black soil in that part, okay. And we all know that the Ahmedabad is also considered as a Manchester of India. That's why huge range of the black soil composition, the cotton production will massive in that part, right. So this is the Arabian Sea branch of monsoon, and it will happen in the beginning of the June. And what about the eastern part of the Indian Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon? Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon is also known as the southwestern monsoon, right. So for the Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon, it's dominated the Kolkata or West Bengal and the whole northeastern side of the Indian subcontinent, right. So in the beginning of the June, or you can say the 10th June. 10th June is the date when the mainly Kolkata get rainfall, huge rainfall in that time. It is the 10th June. So for the Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon dominate the whole eastern portion of the Indian subcontinent. The patches section is the determination of the Bay of Bengal branch, right, okay. So in that part, okay. So we know that in the northeastern side there is a one region, we know that the Cherrapunji, it's receive highest rainfall, it's near about 1250 centimeter is the highest receiving rainfall region, and it is also situated in the windward side of the mountain. And Shillong is the another place which is also situated in the northeastern side, but it is situated in the leeward side of the mountain region. So that's why it gets very less rainfall. The amount of the rainfall is only 500 centimeter, right, 500 centimeter. So this is the rainfall status of the Indian subcontinent, and this whole phenomena is known as the advancement of monsoon, right. So this whole process is known as the advancement of monsoon. I think it's clear to all of you. It is very much easy and interesting. So this is the whole climatic diversity of the Indian subcontinent. And remember one thing, there is a major dominating factors which determine the climate of India. It's altitude, latitude, presence of the sea and the land surface, okay. So we know that the presence of the sea determine the climatic condition of the particular place, because where the sea is situated, the climatic characters or the features of the particular area is a continental type of climate, right. So in that part receive the moderate rainfall, and it is a continental type of climate because of the presence of the sea. Okay, and what about the altitude? We know that there is a huge climatic diversity as well as the landform diversity of the landscape. There is a 3 types of landscape present in the India. First one is the mountain region, right? Mountain region. Next one is the plateau region, and third one is the plain region, right? So the altitude is different for different surface. Okay, so we know that the mountain region is the rock topography. The altitude of the mountain region is very high, so the climatic diversity will also change. And what about the plateau region? We know that the plateau region is mainly composed with the igneous rock or the granite or basalt and all, and the altitude of the plateau area is mainly ranges between how much? Near about 800 meter. If you see the topographical map, you have a clear idea about the altitude of the places. And plain region, we know that the Kolkata is a major example of the plain region. So it's a baseland or the tableland. Okay, so because of the altitude, it changes the diversity of the climate and all, right? And so that is the whole process, how the climate will determine the Indian irrigational factors or the climatic diversity and all, and economic as well as the economic condition, right? So this whole process is known as the advancement of monsoon. So now we will focus about the retreating of the monsoon. So what is advancement? As advancement is the process when the rainfall is dominated all over the India as well as the northern part as well as the northeastern part of the Indian subcontinent, right? And now we will focus about the retreating. So what is the meaning of the retreating? Retreating means, I mean, in Bengali we say that retreating means fire asha. I mean, so the source region of the monsoon is that part, right? And it will determine up to the northeastern part of the India. But the last week of the September, the wind is retreat from northeastern part and get back to his original place, right? So retreat means fire asha or back to his original position, right? Okay, so now we will focus about the retreating of monsoon. I think it's clear to all of you. So now I have to make another map. So I just make the lower portion of the map. I don't need the upper portion, that's why I just make the lower portion. Right? So this portion is bounded by the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, right? So this process is known as the retreating of monsoon. Right? So in the last week of the September, the wind will situated in northeastern part, I mean this region. I mean I marked this with a dot, big dot. So in that part, in last week of the September, the wind will situated in that part, but after September the wind will retreat from that portion. So when the wind is reach the Bay of Bengal part, and it's take some moisture from the Bay of Bengal and it will more powerful. So when the wind will take the huge moisture from the Bay of Bengal, it is collide with the Coromandel coast in the Tamil Nadu region. So that's why over the Coromandel coast there is a huge condensation process will happen, and the Coromandel coast receive winter rainfall. We all know that the Coromandel coast in the southern part of the India, the Coromandel coast receive the winter rainfall between November to December because of the retreating of the monsoon, because the wind will retreat from the place of the northeastern part and over the Bay of Bengal it gets enough moisture and it's become more powerful, and it's happened precipitation over the Coromandel coast in Tamil Nadu. So that's why Tamil Nadu received the winter rainfall between November to December, right? So after the happening of the precipitation, the wind have no power and it's get back to his original place. So this whole process is known as the advancement of monsoon. And what is the name of the monsoon? It's north eastern monsoon, right? So this is the southwestern monsoon, the advancement part, and this is the northwestern monsoon, the retreating part, right? So it is very much interesting and easy also. So I think it's clear to all of you. And just one thing, I will give a short conclusion regarding the climatic diversity. Because of the climatic diversity, there are many the forests are composed in different part of the India. Because of the rainfall variation, we all know that there is a huge diversity of the climate as well as the vegetational part of the Indian subcontinent, right? That's all. Okay, so this is the whole process of the climatic diversity. It is very important for your upcoming exam also. I think it's clear to all of you. I will give you some question regarding the chapter. Please solve it, and even I solve some question, internal question from that chapter. Okay, thank you.